Hi, I'm Lydia Williams. I play for the women's national soccer team, which is the Matildas, and I'm a goalkeeper. My sporting role model is Cathy Freeman. When she was running in the 2000 Olympics, there was a lot of pressure put on her to represent Australia and achieve something really memorable. And the way that she approached it, I think, really left a memory in my mind and inspired me to, be the athlete who I am today. And, I think that she has definitely been a major role model in my life. And the qualities of a leader that I think they must have is open to communication. But one of the main things is I think that leaders don't necessarily know that they're leaders. They lead by example, and you look at them and you think that they're a leader. So I think not necessarily they have to say anything that makes you believe they are. They lead by example. When I want to get motivated, I think about why I play the sport that I love. And I'm so lucky to be able to travel the world, meet new friends, play in front of crowds and be with, people that I like and enjoy playing against and with. And that really motivates me every day to know that I'd be able to do that. And, there's only 250 girls that have ever done that for Australia. So I'm lucky, and it really motivates me day in and day out to be the best that I can and continue on the path that I am. When the worst thing happens and you lose a game, it's really hard, it's the worst feeling in the world, but I always have to remember that there's another 19 people that feel exactly the same way that I do. And I'm lucky that I get to be in a team sport where I can talk to them and, we can speak about the problems and how to resolve it. But also, I'm also lucky enough to have a game the following week, so I have to get over the loss and be prepared for the next game.
Hi, I'm Christy Harrower and I play with the Australian Opals basketball team. Sporting role models, I've had a few that I really enjoy watching, and the reason why I like watching them so much is the leadership that they bring to the team and how professional they are. One of my favourite sports role models is Joel Selwood, who plays for Geelong in the AFL. He's a Bendigo boy as well, but the reason why I like him so much is because he's the captain of the Geelong Football Club right now, but also he's such a leader. He leads by example, he puts his body on the line and he goes in hard, and that's why I like Joel Selwood as my favourite sports role model. My position on the court is the general. I'm the point guard and I tell everybody what to do. Part of my position is being a leader, and it's something that comes natural to me, but being a great leader is somebody that leads by example. I put my body on the line, I communicate with my teammates, but I also teach them what to do on the court. And the knowledge that I have of the game, I think makes me a special leader. Do I like losing? No way. I hate losing. I hate losing at training, hate losing in a game. But to try and overcome that, you have to live in the moment. You have to move on and know that the next game, you're going to give everything that you got, that you're going to win and not lose again.
Hello, my name is Raheem Williams. I live here at the Australian Institute of Sport and I'm a 400 metre hurdler. My role model, the person that I looked up to, was Kyle Vanderkart. He does athletics as well. He's a 110 hurdler, or retired. He was a good motivator. Really, he knew me very well. He knew what buttons to push for me to get me going and what buttons not to. He just led me down the right path, and as I was coming up as a 110 hurdler, he really helped me out and showed me a few tips to sort of helping me become a better hurdler. Kyle Vanderkart was a really good leader. He came on camps with me when I was about 15, 16, and that's when I first met him. He introduced himself and I introduced myself as a 110 hurdler, and he took a shine to me, and then he really sort of looked after all the athletes. Even though we went our separate ways after the camp, he still kept in touch, still gave us hints and tips, and really told us to focus on sort of your goals that you set and not things outside of it. And it really helped me because at the time I had pressure coming from a few different angles and a few different sports, and he was there and he really helped me get through it.
Hi, I'm Evan O'Hanlon and I'm a Paralympic sprinter. I run the 100 and 200 metres in the T38 class at the Paralympic Games, and at the last Paralympic Games in Beijing I won the 100, 200 and the 4x1 relay, all in world record times. I have cerebral palsy. So cerebral palsy is basically brain damage while you're still inside your mum or just as you're coming out. And that means that I can't move part of my body properly and I can't control it the way I want to. So for me, it's the whole left side of my body that I can't coordinate the right way. And it means I'm less coordinated, not as strong. Probably my biggest sporting role model would have to be Usain Bolt, and purely just because he's the man. Everyone knows who he is. He's the fastest man in the world, and he enjoys what he's doing, and you can see that every time he races. He's out there having fun. He doesn't take his life too seriously. I'm sure he does in training, but when he's out there competing, doing what he's ready for, it's enjoyable, and that's what every athlete wants to achieve. They want to be having fun when they're out there. I think a good leader is normally someone that has a clear idea of what they want, whether it be what they want in life or what they want that day or what they want out of their team that they're working with. Because if they're clear and they know exactly what they want, it's easier to communicate with the rest of the people they're working with. And good communication and a clear idea of what you want means that everyone's on the same path, everyone knows what you're trying to do, and you can get there as quickly as possible. Over the course of my career, my motivation has changed a couple of times in doing what I'm doing and where I want to be. I suppose before Beijing, my motivation was, I wanted to be the best. And because I wasn't the best, and I couldn't really claim that crown because I hadn't won the Paralympic Games, and before I held the world record, I wanted to hold the world record. So I wanted to be number one, and to be number one, you've got to train like number two. And I try and carry that forward now that I am number one. Keep training like number two so that I keep pushing myself and keep pushing the rest of the guys that are chasing me. Every athlete doesn't like losing, everyone wants to win, but there has to be someone, or there can only be one winner, so there has to be a couple of people that don't come first. And when you don't come first, the best way to look at it is that that's a big learning experience, and you can learn what you need to do next time to not be in that position again. And whenever I don't achieve what I wanted to achieve, whether it's the time that I wanted to run or coming first in a certain race, I always try and accept the fact that, yeah, okay, there's not much I can do about that now because it's already passed, but what can I do now that will affect my performance in the future and make sure that doesn't happen to me again.
Hi, I'm Petrea Thomas, a former swimmer. I was a triple Olympic gold medalist in 2004 at the Athens Olympic Games. Well, look, I had I suppose a number of people I sort of looked up to when I was younger. I said before about how I loved playing basketball, and one of those people was Michael Jordan. I obviously didn't get to hang out with him or anything, although my husband did meet him. But I looked at the way he, I suppose, prepared himself to play and just how good he was. And, when my husband actually got to go over and watch the Chicago Bulls train, he said that Michael Jordan was the first one out there at training every day and the last to leave. And to me, even though he was already the best, to me that level of, I suppose, dedication and commitment, I suppose, was really, I think, rubbed off on me. I believe the most important quality that a leader can have is to lead by example, to show people what you want them to do. I think you have to do that yourself if you're going to lead people and try and get them to do things and raise to a higher level to get the best out of themselves. And I think you have to be willing to do that yourself. And I always believed that, as I got to be a senior member on the swim team. And I just tried to do the right things and show the younger athletes that, hey, this is what's required if you want to be successful. I think the key thing about motivation is you've got to want it yourself first and foremost. And it's really important, no one else can stand on the blocks and swim the Olympic final for you. No one can get in the water and do the training for you. It's got to come from within. And I think that's the biggest thing with motivation. And unless that person is willing to want to get the best out of themselves and want to do that hard work, then it's almost a bit of a lost cause. But having said that, there's certainly ways that I think you can challenge people to get the best out of themselves. And I think, I've had that in a few coaches over the years in different ways from different coaches and different people being around me. But I think, sometimes for me personally, when I had a challenge thrown at me or someone told me I couldn't do it, then it made me want to do it even more.
My name's Tanya Hebner. I'm a swimmer. I wasn't really coached at a younger age, but I used to watch people swim on television, and I would then go to the pool and try to copy exactly what they did. And that's, apart from other strokes, that's probably how I learnt to do butterfly, was from watching Jeff Hugel on the television. And And I've been quite inspired by him. I always liked watching him as a swimmer when he was younger, but it's been pretty amazing to see him come back as a swimmer and to see what he's achieved and the qualities that he has, determination, and I think that's a really important quality to have, and that he believes in himself. The qualities of a good leader are that they are a team player, because if you're a leader, you are part of a team, and you need to have good communication skills to be part of that team, because you're trying to lead a small or a large group of people. I think it's important to realise that a leader isn't perfect and they're going to make mistakes, and everyone makes mistakes, but I think it's what you do when you do make mistakes that makes the difference. As much as winning is my ultimate goal, I have had to deal with losing, and I would never say that losing is enjoyable, but I think it's something that is important because it's how you learn and how you keep progressing. And I think for me, I would be able to deal with losing if I knew that I'd given everything.